All right, Mike, obviously 2024 is finished and there was a lot of developments in the technology space. What was the coolest thing you saw last year?
So the explosion of these large language models and things like Hugging Face, where it became commodity to go get a large language model and pull it down on your desktop if you had the right power and process to use it, and then go build and utilize these machine learning models. A lot of times what I realize is people said, I'm doing machine learning. Are you doing machine learning or are you using machine learning? Right. So that, but to see how it pushed out into the development community. And I'll be honest with you, programmer, I still program a little bit today. What I find interesting is the programming is still the hardest part. Using the machine learning models actually isn't that hard. So seeing how easy and how adaptable this technology is and how fast it's come at us, that just blew me away this year. How about you? What's the coolest thing you saw?
Similar. I'm less of the developer, so I'm always looking at the application side, right? Um,
Imagine.
so I think the thing that blew me away was the Notebook LM two-person podcast. I've seen the AIs do the synthesized voices and, try to create content. And it is literally unnerving how natural the Notebook LM podcast sounds in terms of the two voices. I could not detect that they were actually AIs when I first heard them. And the back and forth sounds so natural. I've seen other platforms attempt to do this. Like there's a new startup called JellyPod that just became generally available this month. And they try to do something similar. It took me a long time just to train it to get a voice that sounded natural. And then we haven't even gotten to the actual podcast piece.
Right. You look.
And obviously, I think all these platforms have a long way to go, even Notebook LM. But, I think in just terms of something that surprised me, that was probably it.
It's one of those things that once you look into it, you go, oh, let's see how this works. Oh my God, that's way more accelerated than I thought it was going to be. So, again, I talked about being the old guy around the block. Remember Microsoft had this, remember Clippy, the little
Yeah,
clipboard that would pop up, right?
absolutely.
That was their Microsoft agent. There was a whole agent framework around that you could program. And you could have a little wizard come up. And their vision was you would say to the wizard, hey, go give me tickets to this game. And it would go do. But the technology, the infrastructure, and all, but none of it was ready. But the vision was there. So to see how fast 20 years ago, 25 years ago, we went from that. And I programmed against it. I had a little, you came to my trade show booth. I had a little wizard out there that would talk to you. But the amount of work I had to do to get that just a little bit to happen versus click, click, click production. I'm just blown away by it. The speed of the stuff. Just amazing.
Yeah, absolutely.